Okay, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Stupid, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. We've seen 3 scenes with Bryce now, and he appears to be impressed with us. Unfortunately, I can't have 2 meetings with the same person in the same section. So instead, I'm gonna go back to Remy to see what's going on. Okay, so it's letting me skip this. If anything changes, oops. I don't think I wanted to do that. Or whatever. If anything changes, I'll let you know. If not, then we'll probably go to the end and see one of Bryce's endings, whatever that happens to be. Alright, whatever. Oh, look, lost. Okay, we're at the ending already. Loss, passion, intuition. What do the cards mean there? I know they appear if I were to hit the start button. I know they appear on the status screen. I don't know what they indicate though. Achievements. Oh, I can look through the achievements here without even going into the into Steam. Alright, well, whatever. Are we going to... Oh, yes, we're doing... Alright, whatever. I'm gonna go find something interesting. Oh, look, we are, where are we? Oh, yes, they're going to, what, investigate the farmhouse or whatever? We're gonna tell Maver to wait, because we can do that. Alright, so he's gonna stop for a few seconds. What do you want? Do you have something against humans in general, or is it just Reza and me? Do you think you're superior because of us, because of your wings, your teeth, and your claws? Your fire? That's jumping to conclusions a little bit. Or is it just jealousy or projected hate? I know the first day I met you, you were all hung up on people paying attention to us because we're human. I can assure you, there's nothing about us to be jealous about. Our world is a wasteland. He closed the door before he turns back around to face me. You're really playing that innocent role, aren't you? Now you're offering yourself as a bargaining chip for Reza. At this rate, I might even start to believe you if I didn't have a reason not to. If I were with Reza, it would have been much easier for you to pull a gun. It would have been much easier for me to pull a gun on you too, the day that you were shot. But I didn't even bring one when I came through the portal. Plausible deniability, or as I like to say, good cop, bad cop. If Reza's plan fails, you and the rest of humanity can disavow Reza's actions as his own and still go through with the trades as agreed, and Reza would be dealt with however. Yet if Reza's plan succeeds, you will have given us nothing and still have gained what you wanted. If Reza got away, you'd still have me though. If your world is a wasteland, don't you think losing you is a price they would gladly pay? Maverick's words made me think. Did I really have the complete picture before I stepped through the portal? I guess that would explain why I got the job in the first place. Besides, Reza only stole the things humanity wants, so he's clearly not doing this just for himself. His actions only started after that confrontation with you, though. Maybe none of this was planned. Don't be stupid. Haha. Do you think I've forgotten about the secret messages he sent you? I still don't know what he would have told me that day if you hadn't interrupted us. He wanted to discuss his plans with you. Only after I found out about his secret message he sent you did I realize that all of the messages sent back and forth between the portals could have been similar even before your arrival. When the police searched Reza's apartments, of course none of the old letters could be found. Those did not have any secret messages. Is that so? Not that I knew of, at least. When he sent me that secret message, I initially had no idea how to read it. But you knew it was a secret message, yes? But that's not true for the messages he sent you before you came through the portal. I don't think so. Maybe those messages weren't intended for you then. We're not that different, you know. What are you talking about? I reached into my pocket. I still have that. I don't know how long it's been. I pulled out the wrinkled piece of paper and showed it to him. According to the test results, humans and dragons show remarkable similarities from the different species, from 4 different species from different evolutionary lines and completely different worlds. Why do you think I care about that? It wouldn't make a damn difference to me if other dragons came through the portal instead of humans. I was the only one who followed Reza and knew that something was off, but all of my concerns were swept away into the wind. It was never about you being humans. It's about my people not hearing my pleas and the leniency they were willing to show you, all in the name of fostering this diplomatic relationship. But you two came here and strutted around like you owned the place, as you tore my home apart. The blood of those who died is on the hands of everyone who allowed this to happen. If they'd listened to me in the first place, maybe I'd have caught Razor that day before I was wounded, and things would look very different right now. I agree. Then why do you blame me for suspecting you? All this time I've just been helping the police. So have I. Maybe they'll finally catch Razor and we'll see how it turns out. See how all of this turns out. Wait a minute, you had Anna perform those tests for you. It was more the other way around. She was the one who wanted to study my blood. Suddenly, I'm not surprised that you had those tests done. She can be ruthless when she wants something. What did she do to get your blood? She asked nicely for it. Ha ha! Wow, that is what we call screen shake. She asked nicely. Nothing else in this world right now could be worth more than those samples of your blood, and you just gave them to her. I mean, yeah? You know what, maybe I was wrong. Even if humanity and Razor could have cooked up a crazy plan, and even if they're willing to sacrifice either of you for their own gain, maybe it really had nothing to do with it. Maybe you really are just clueless. It doesn't really matter much, though. After all, you have nothing to gain from me if I change my opinion of you. To me, proof is the only thing that really matters, so my feelings on the issue are not important. If you work with the police for long enough, you just learn to take things as they are. Maybe with you, I'll have to admit that I was wrong. But I won't ever stop looking for those who are responsible for this, and if I find them, I'll show no mercy. Okay, that was slightly less productive than I hoped it would be. Then I had to wait. They're absorbing the farm now, and even if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. Oh, is Bryce gonna get blown up? I don't want Bryce to get blown up. Stupid? Yeah? I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. Oh, okay. So we can keep Bryce from getting blown up. And I think if I skip this, I'll go in, I'll find the things, which I'm pretty sure that also not only affects whether or not Bryce ends up alive or not, but it affects like whether you have the generators at the end, right? I'm pretty sure that's what happened last time. Okay. What am I answering? Oh, yes, the festival. Okay. Is there anything I need to do? I feel like visiting the hatchery. This is where Kevin's gonna show up, isn't it? Okay. Sure, I'm not gonna talk to you, but whatever, why not? I talked to you last time and nothing really came out of it except for an achievement and most of the video. The witness. Oh, is this where Lorem dies or something? I can't remember. Oh, the noises. Oh, he did go missing. That's upsetting. Ah. Okay, so this is the important part. This is before the festival, and Bryce is, he wants to get out of his crummy temporary apartment. I'm sure we could think of something fun. Like setting stuff on fire. Okay, let's talk to Bryce. And the list of people I can meet who are still alive is shrinking. That must be him. Hey, stupid. Hey, Bryce. I know you said you wanted to get out of your small apartment, get out of the small apartment of yours, but I'm not sure if mine is much different. Well, I figured yours couldn't be any worse than mine. And now that I'm seeing it from the inside, I actually have to say the council didn't do a bad job with it after all. I assume that's appropriate for someone of my status. Whereas the chief of police has to make do with whatever he can get. You said it was only temporary. It is, but I'm really getting sick of it, to be honest. I can imagine. Anyway, what's the plan? Plan? We have plans in this game? We gotta do something, right? If you want some entertainment, I can offer you a bookshelf full of it. Hey, Sheridan and the Scepter of Sovereignty should last you for a while. No thanks, I have enough fiber in my diet already. I suppose you're not really a big fan of reading then. You don't say! Why would I visit you just to read some crummy book? And besides, I do read from time to time. What do you read? Signs, menus, magazines. I don't think that counts. Let me take a look around your apartment then. Feel free, though I'm not sure if there's anything special about it. I watched with amusement as Bryce headed for the kitchen. So that's what you're really looking for. Guess what? I found something. Is it meat? Oh, it's alcohol. He showed me one of the cheap bottles of wine that had been in the cupboard since I arrived. Why don't you raid the fridge while you're at it? No thanks, this'll do for now. Oh, I get it. You want to play spin the bottle. Sure, we just gotta empty it out first. I assume you don't mean emptying it into the sink. Of course not, that would be a terrible waste. A terrible waste of the second cheapest wine from the store. I don't know how you humans are with stuff like that, but here we don't throw away perfectly good things. I'm not sure this wine would qualify as perfectly good. Hey, at least it's not the absolute bottom of the barrel. Now, are you going to help me with this or not? Yeah! Alright, let's make it 1 glass for you and the rest for me. You think that's fair? If I had to guess, I'd say I weigh 5 to 10 times as much as you do, so this is as fair as it gets. If you say so. I opened the kitchen cabinet to find an appropriate vessel for Bryce, but when I turned to ask him about it, he'd already opened the bottle and was sucking out of it like a baby. I suppose that means I won't have to do any dishes. How does it taste? Like wine, I guess. Cheap wine, besides. I thought you were more of a beer person. Hey, I take what I can get. Just a few minutes later, the bottle had been emptied completely. I'm not sure if drinking like a dragon is a phrase, but if it isn't, it should be. Let me write that down real quick. I have this nagging feeling that every video that I post with Bryce in it is gonna get instantly demonetized. Okay, hey, not everyone can drink like me. I see. And now we can finally play spin the bottle. Don't we need more people for that? Damn, you're right. Now I drank all of this for nothing. Somehow I think the whole spin the bottle thing was just an excuse so you could drink wine. What? I would never do such a thing. Of course not. Hey, if I do the entire run of Bryce with him being sober, is that gonna change anything majorly or anything? Like if I don't do the drinking contest and if I tell him that he's already had enough or whatever it was. Probably, right? Well, we can still play it with just the two of us. At that point, it wouldn't even need a bottle anymore. Come on, where's your sense of funness? Is that even a word? We're here to relax, you should lighten up a bit. It's a bit hard to lighten up given everything that's been happening here. If anything, it's worse now than it's ever been. Ray's actions are threatening our agreement and with it the survival of everyone I knew back home. But what really takes the cake is that he may have it out for me because I'm helping all of you. You want to have this conversation right now? Alright, let's have it. Just let it all out. Yeah, why don't we talk about Maverick? He may have it out for me because he thinks I'm working with Reza. And me, I'm just here, right in the middle of this whole mess, just trying to make the best of it. You know you're only involved in the investigation because we needed your help, right? I know, and I'm doing what I can, but that doesn't mean it's making the situation any easier. You think I don't know that? Me, the one responsible for every action our police is taking in the matter. If you want to go ahead and blame someone, then blame me, I can take it. I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying this whole situation is something I'm not very comfortable with. And whose responsibility is that, huh? However you look at it, it's me. I was the one who didn't listen to Maverick back when he had his suspicions about Reza. If we'd acted then, this whole thing might not have spiraled out of control like it did. And despite what you think about him, he was the one who found out Reza's hideout, even after I forced him to take sick leave. We were practically at Reza's front door and he still got away somehow. If I'd done something differently, we might have caught him. Let this be my official apology to you. I apologize for everything I might have done to wrong you. I'm sorry for putting you through all this and having to involve you in our work while trying to fix this whole mess, because in the end, this is just all my responsibility. You don't need to apologize for anything. Ooh. That was breaking glass. He hurled the empty bottle against the wall on the other side of the room where it shattered into pieces. Then what do you want me to do, huh? Bryce, do you need a hug? Do you think it's easy for me, seeing so many people die on my watch? Do you think I don't keep asking myself the same questions? What I could have done differently, and if this would have made a difference? You'd think as chief I would be used to it now, but I'm not. How could someone ever get used to this? It's my duty, you know. But I can't save them all. Never could. You've been to more than enough crime scenes by now. How have you remained so calm? Do all those who have died not matter to you? I'm sorry for making you look at a corpse on your very first day here, but you know I had to. Your help here has been invaluable, and it's not like I could ask anybody else. I'm really tripping over the words here, hang on. I did remember to bring water to the reading this time. It's the same for me, really. Sure, they could ask someone else to be chief, but if I'm the one who's best suited for the job, who am I to reject that? Otherwise, I'd have to blame myself for every mistake the other chief made. Is that why you drink? It might come as a surprise, but actually, the alcoholic police chief used to be a huge stereotype in our world. Stranger Things would like a word with you. Really? You wouldn't believe it. Actually, I do. The research about alcoholism in the police force is out there, but the general populace doesn't know about it. It's all just internal documents. What don't people know? They don't want to know about unhappy things like that. Besides, they trust their chief. If they knew about it, maybe they'd start to have their doubts. I thought it was common knowledge that you visit the bar fairly often. Often enough that you're friends with the bartender. I don't know. Maybe they don't realize how it affects me. They see someone who can drink a lot and does it for fun. They don't realize what it means. What other stereotypes about the police are there in your world? That's the biggest one. About that. I see. Well, alcoholism and suicide are both huge problems in law enforcement. Suicide? Yeah, if you have to deal with the things that we see on a daily basis, it can affect you in pretty bad ways. Everyone has their breaking point. We all just cope with it in our own different ways. Some do it better than others. That's why I'm worried about Maverick right now, and why I'd wish you'd known him as long as I have. You think he's at his breaking point. He's taking the whole Reza situation very personally. I'm just worried about him, you know. Just like I'm worried about everything else until we can sort out this whole mess. It's personal for me, too. No matter what you may think about Maverick or what he may think of you, he still found Reza's hideout, which led us to the generators. I guess you both helped a lot in this investigation. My point with all this is, we're all a very tight-knit group at the police station. Me, Sebastian, Maverick, Naomi. The bond we form on the job is how we know to look out for each other. Have we met Naomi yet? I'm trying to think. I don't think we have. I know she's been mentioned before. Bryce talked about her at the barbecue, and I want to say the name came up somewhere in the beginning of the story, but I don't remember. I can tell you there's nothing else quite like it. What do you think? How many more have to die to stop Reza? If anything, he's more dangerous now than he's ever been before. You know how much depends on how all this turns out. Whatever happens, I'm just glad to have known you. Remember when I told you about the wooden models I'm making? I never told anyone else about that. As much as I like everyone at the department, it's just not something I can talk about with them. You saw us at the barbecue. I'd never hear the end of it. Sorry about the bottle, by the way. I'd clean it up, but don't worry about it. It was empty anyway. That's the stupid I like. Oh, you won't believe what happened with Emma at work. What did? I heeded your advice and told her the truth. Details, Bryce, tell me everything. Well, the day before yesterday, she tried her thing again, complained about her back pain to get a massage, and asked me if I'd want to settle down eventually. At some point, I had enough and just told her outright that I'm not interested in her. For your own sake, I hope you weren't too harsh. Hey, you said I should tell her the truth, so I did. What did you say? Just that I noticed her attempts were wooing me, and I'm not interested, that's all. How did she react? Not much. She just looked up at me and said, oh, I see. That's all. This is Dolores Umbridge, that's never all. Yeah, and she stopped with the comments after that. Guess that's not so bad then. Well, not really. Now she's having me do all kinds of stupid things like guard the outside of her office door for hours on end. Maybe she's still worried about Reza. That building has its own security, and it's pretty clear that she's just doing it to get back at me for rejecting her. She's really good at hiding it, though. I'd never be able to prove it. You wouldn't have to be with her for much longer. Yeah, but I guess she'll just keep wasting my time until it's over. At least you try to do the right thing. Yeah, can I ask you something? Go ahead. If I told you that I'm a time traveler from the future, what would you say? So this is the question that we're going to ask everyone after we've seen that bit, right? Time traveler, isn't that something that just happens in bad science fiction novels? Why only bad science fiction novels in particular? Don't you think there could be a good one? Let's just say all science fiction novels, because they're all bad. Huge generalization aside, what if I were in a science fiction story and time travelers are real? Look, about that fourth wall. I'd want to see some proof of it first. That's not something you come across every day, after all. What if I confided it to you as my friend? You'd still have to show me some proof, or I'd call you out on the joke. What if I was serious? Well, it's pretty far out. That's the kind of thing someone would make up to scam people for their money or something like that. Alright, let's forget about time travelers. What if I told you there was another human here besides Reza and me? This is getting kind of weird, stupid. Just entertain me for this question. Well, unless you had some sort of proof, I'd call you crazy. As a member of law enforcement, aren't you supposed to follow up on every report? Yes, but that doesn't mean we have to believe everything. If there's no proof, we'll look for proof. If we don't find some, well... Without any proof or leads to follow, there's nothing we can do anyway. I see. By the way, when you and Sebastian went to the farmhouse to go after Reza, you left me alone with Maverick in the same room. I did? Yeah, and I was worried there for a few seconds. Don't you worry about him. You mentioned that you had a talk with him after, about a week ago, and that it didn't end badly for you either. He might be scary, but I don't think you need to be afraid of him. He's got a very strong sense of justice, so he wouldn't do anything to you without a good reason. When we were alone, we had an opportunity to talk where he made his position very clear. Did he threaten you? No, I was honest with him, and in turn, I think he was honest with me as well. Oh, really? Yeah, I had nothing to hide. If he was willing to talk, I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity. How did that go? I think he doesn't suspect me as much anymore. Guess leaving you alone with him wasn't such a bad thing after all. I suppose you could say so. I just did. What's that outside? Fireworks? Yeah, must be the summer festival. You just wanted to get out of your apartment, and rather than go to the festival, you came here. The festival isn't really anything special for me anymore. Seen one, seen them all. Besides, it's usually just a thing for families, really. Alright. Are those the fireworks people keep talking about? No, they have a fireworks show every evening. Nobody really cares about the first couple of days. It's only on the last day that they bring out the big ones. I usually watch those. Oh, so if there's big explosions, then you care. Well, yeah, but it's a tradition, maybe even an ideological one. You know, everyone in town united under the stars watching the beautiful fireworks is a thing. People have been telling me for the last few days how I just have to see them. You know, I kind of owe it to... You know, you kind of owe it to us as an ambassador to take part in a cultural event like that. I'm going to be here anyway, so you don't need to convince me. Want to come with me? I know all the good viewing spots. Most of the popular ones are usually super crowded, and we should probably avoid those. I can't really promise anything right now, but I'll keep it in mind. Well, you've got my number, so let me know as soon as you can. Okay. You know, those fireworks are also often a couple thing. I'm not surprised, they can set the mood for a romantic evening. Well, they're still going on outside right now. Are you saying that you want to go outside and watch? No, I'm saying we could take this conversation elsewhere, namely the bedroom. You know, hurry or something, Bryce. The bedroom here is nothing special, I can assure you of that. Well, it's better than the one I have right now. You know, when you slept over last time and we shared the couch, I took it as a sign. Did that mean anything to you? Or was that just two friends sharing a couch that was clearly too small for two people who just wanted to stay friends? Okay, so we can make this awkward, more awkward, or most awkward. Alright, we're gonna go with most awkward. Why don't we make this a little more romantic then? Share a glass of wine and see where the evening takes us. I should have another bottle in the kitchen. I'll go fetch it. Sure thing. I went to the kitchen to fetch the bottle of wine and the two appropriate vessels, wondering how Bryce would manage a wine glass. When I returned, I want artwork of that. Is there artwork of that?
Hey.
When I returned from the kitchen, however, I was met by an unexpected sight. Okay. Not what I had in mind, but scream. Oh my. Bryce sprang to his feet, a somewhat embarrassed look on his face. What is it? No, that was fine. Don't stop. Not something you've seen before, huh? I can take a hint. And then, especially with my kind, they're, well, I think I can see what you mean. Do you just want to stand there and keep staring? Then why don't you come a little closer? Alright. Good God, Bryce. Another free day, yay me. Okay. Remy, Adine, / Lunch, and Kevin are the only options. Alright, nothing's changed as far as I can tell, except for the meetings counter. I'm gonna end it off here. So, after that very, interesting evening, in the next part, we're probably gonna go watch some fireworks or something. My name is Dragonite. I've been on a roll with calling myself by my in-game name, too. My name is Stupid, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.